Hey, what's going on, fam? This is Stevie G on Get Money Show. Just wanted to say what's up. Fit is here, making things happen. And today I have a special guest for the show. Today's going to be a really fun show. I got a guy who, when he comes into a room, he commands a room. We got Chris here. Chris,
Absolutely.
say what's up.
How's it going, everybody? Good morning, Charlotte.
All right. Hey, now tell me again what you do.
I'm a performance strategist. So what I do is I work with athletes, business professionals, and others who really want to take their life to the next level. If it's an athlete, for example, it's someone who they're someone who performs at a high level physically, and what they're trying to do is they want the mental game to be there so that they can execute either in the swim, or if I'm working with a triathlete and it's the bike or it's the run, or if it's a business professional who they're good at what they want to do, but they want to get sharper and they want to really, really understand and clarify what it is they want. Because part of it is helping someone get clear about what they want and a strategy to make it happen, but so they can have fun at the same time too.
Right.
Something that really pulls them in that direction. So I love doing it and have the greatest clients.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, I was asking you that because, we just pretty much met the last few weeks. I know the last time that we had met for the first time was at a network meeting in Davidson.
Yeah.
So, we got to talk in there a little bit. Had to have you on the show. So
Yeah.
thanks so much for coming
Absolutely.
on the show. Last couple of weeks, we've been, kind of hooking up over in Cornelius at the wine cellar.
Yep.
So that's been great as well too.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that this morning on how really what a great network group that is.
Mhm.
A lot of network groups that we see today are pretty much ones that have a commitment to go and be there every week. You have to have some kind of subscription fee to go there,
Right.
Things like that. But that's such a really nice group for for local businesses to get
Right.
together, to really showcase what they do, to exchange information,
Yep.
and then also at the same time be at a place that you can drink some wine
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
9 in the morning.
Right,
So
absolutely.
that's awesome about
Yeah.
that too. Had a great mimosa that morning, so that was awesome.
Yeah.
So today our purpose really is to really get to know who you are, kind of go through a journey
Sure.
of really what you do,
Sure.
where you came from.
Mhm.
So let's start there. So where'd
Okay.
you come from?
Well, I've been in Charlotte now for about 10 years. I was originally from Seattle, lived in Seattle for most of my life, majority of my life anyways. And about 10 years ago, I met my wife online, and I kind of moved out to Charlotte, and have been here since. I love it here. I love the people. People actually smile. Miss that, Seattle kind of still gray all the time. You don't really hear it. So it's something I moved out here, and working at Microsoft, it's an amazing company. I worked in sales and marketing, but here I wanted something different. And I've always wanted to bring something passion where I can help other people out. And about 5 years ago, I became actually learned how to do stage hypnosis from a guy named Mark Savard out in Las Vegas. He still performs at Planet Hollywood. He's very good at what he does. And I kind of took off from there, helping people to stop smoking. And now I help athletes and business professionals and professors of universities really to step up their game and rewrite their stories of what they want to do.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at now.
So how did you transition from from Microsoft and doing this?
Well, in Seattle, Microsoft is something that even now I could go back to and get a good job. Here, it's a little different. I found out that the transition wasn't as easy, and so I decided, well, if anything, I think people come to a moment in their life when they realize either you can go ahead and design your own new chapter, and it just wasn't been right. I needed a new chapter in my life, and I decided I want to do something new. I want to do something that's fun. I want to do something that engages people, makes them smile, feel good about themselves, help them out and grow and become a better person. And so that's where I'm at now.
Yeah. So, like along the way, who did you meet in order to have that idea, in order to kind of go off on your own?
Right.
Were the people that influenced you?
Right. Well, the influences in my life when coming in this area, I go to Vegas a lot, and I love going to the different shows out there. I happened to see the show at Planet Hollywood by a guy named Mark Savard. He's a stage hypnotist down there, and I thought, if I'm going to transition now, he was offering a class of learning how to do hypnosis. I thought, this is great. I'm going to do it. His class was so good, and it wasn't about the show. It was about why people do what they do. from the emotional to your unconscious mind. Why people, will do something and why people sabotage themselves. And that's really what turned me on to going, this is a cool, fun art. If I can help someone design that and bring them to a new level where they're now learn about what they do and actually design their life, that is great. So stepping out from doing some classes with him and then start taking on some people and just really having the adventure of being where I'm at now, I could say that that was a turning point in my life.
So you said Vegas, and I was
Yes.
just there about
Yep.
maybe like 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Had a good time.
Yeah.
Saw O.
Yeah, great show.
But what's your favorite show there?
I have a couple. I think there's, of course, Carrot Top comes to mind. I love the Blue Man Group. I've seen the Blue Man Group there 3 or 4 different times there.
I saw that once, maybe like 2 years ago.
It's a great
show.
Great show. I usually try to catch a different Cirque show when I'm there. So when like MGM Grand has one, like they have Ka over there, and then you have another one at New York, and different shows. So I'll usually catch different shows, and I love Vegas. Vegas is a lot of great people who have a lot of great talent, and it's an amazing place. It never stops. So
That place was fun.
it is fun.
Talk about 9 in the morning, people still partying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know. It's
Right.
a great place.
It
Great
is.
place. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So now tell me, sometimes when you're a kid, how you were raised,
Mhm.
did that play a part in really, who you are now? And
Oh, that's a
how
good
you evolved
question.
to?
My parents have always taught me. My parents have always been. When I grew up, they never worked for anybody. They worked for themselves, and they've always really branded in me that if you're going to do anything in your life, you have to do it for yourself. You can't depend on anybody to do it for you. If you're going to have a bad day, it's up to you to have that bad day. If you're going to have a great day, it's up to you to do it, and you have the tools that already change it. So my parents played a huge influence of saying, look, the pity party's your own, but you can also have the successful part too. And you have to go out there and get it, make the decision and go and climb that mountain and go after it. And to this day, they still live that, really of just going there. And from the different authors, I mean, Zig Ziglar was one that I can remember as a childhood, to reading his stuff and to going, wait a second, maybe my life can be different. It doesn't have to be what everyone else does around me. Also, I hung around a lot of different people when I was a kid. I wasn't one of these guys who hung around one type of person. I hung around, in school, you had the rockers, you had the preps, you had, different variations. I had friends with them, I was friends with them all, because I thought the amazing beauty is everyone had really, really fun ways of looking at life. And I thought the rainbow of looking at things provides a better solution and provides a better variety in life anyway. So yeah, my childhood did play a very big part in what I did.
Our parents are very similar. They came from another country. They were both entrepreneurs, but they first had to go into the workforce, but went off on their own.
Good.
Same
That's
old
nice.
thing.
Nice.
So parents really influence their kids,
Yeah.
especially if they're both entrepreneurs and very successful.
Yep.
It helps hopefully
Yeah.
helps their children to also
Yeah.
be the same way as well too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So as far as I know that you're traveling around, you meet clients and things like that.
Mhm.
And also you get busy. How do you stay healthy? Because you're pretty fit. So
Well,
how do you stay healthy?
thank you. Right now it's actually something I'm really actually looking at a new area in my life right now of how to do that. Because I talk to different people who I meet athletes and I work with triathletes and I'm working with, I know, a business professional up in Lake Norman right now, and we're talking about healthy ways and standards and stuff. And I have a thing where I do every morning when I get up, I do about 15 minutes of really just power moves and stuff, and just kind of little exercises that I can do to get my body flowing. And then of course I drink water through the day because I do drink a lot of coffee too as well. So I do that, and part of that is focusing on what I want my day to be like. I'm always designing in my head, what's it going to be like, put it out there, and have that thing. And so I'm doing some different power moves. Maybe it's like jogging in place, listening to something in the background to keep me there. And my energy level, typically, you probably hear it from this interview, is I'm pretty much a very outgoing guy anyways. I take it from my dad. My dad was one of those ones you could be in a room with 1,000 people and you could command a room. So I get that, honestly. Maybe it's the Italian part of me, I don't know. But that's what I do now. I am looking to do a little bit more of now that I'm working with athletes a lot more, I am being more looking at different areas of exploring different ways of working out, because it's fun. I mean, I meet these people and they wake up in the morning, they do 5 miles runs, and then they do some sort of training in the middle, and then they go out and do a swim, another 3-4 mile swim or whatever else, and they do it every single day, and it's pretty impressive. So
Yeah. So now you said that your father's Italian. Are
Yes.
you full Italian?
I'm half Italian, yeah.
So you're a hybrid, okay? So that's
I'm
cool.
a hybrid, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and that's from your father's side. Now your mother, what is she?
Yeah, I think French Irish. We think we don't know exactly everything in there. We try to find out, but no
Okay.
one really even has a clue. But really, that side of it, she is.
So I'm sure because your father was Italian, he
Yes.
probably grew up on Italian food, great food from his parents, I'm assuming. And so, then what did your mother
Yeah.
cook for him? I mean, did she cook him
My-
Italian food as well, or no?
My dad does the cooking.
Okay.
My dad, he loves it. He will sit there. Ever since I was a kid, my mom has done some cooking, and ever since I was a kid to now, she does some basic stuff. But my dad is one of these ones who will look into a cabinet and take whatever it is in there, make sure he throws some garlic in it, and he calls it a meal. So he's very, very creative that way. You know, he'll make a meal, and he just loves. That's part of his. You know, people have their areas where they get in the zone, they get in the state, and his like meditation area. That's his for him. He just like, oh, I can make this and do that, and you guys sit down. I've taken care of it. My grandmother was like that. His mom, she was full Italian, and she was very successful. They lived in L.A., and she'd be the same way too. You'd put her in a kitchen, and she'd be like, you sit down, you know, I'm gonna fix you. We could actually have a Thanksgiving dinner. She could clean the table up. And then she'd come back and go, okay, ready, you hungry again? I'm gonna make you, and put out a full meal again. You know, it's amazing. But I think you probably got that, honestly.
That's impressive. I mean, it's always impressed me. I watch a lot of cooking shows, and I see these
Mhm.
people who just are not chefs, but they're just home chefs, you
Right.
know, and they go on these shows and they're able to just get these ingredients and just make whatever.
Right,
That
yeah.
really impresses me. So
Yeah.
so that's awesome. So now, since you have eaten Italian foods, you know,
Mhm.
and you know your father cooks it for you,
Mhm.
cooks great food for you.
Yes.
So what do you recommend in Charlotte? Is there a good place in Charlotte for Italian food, or you know something that you grew up on?
Jeez, you know, when it comes to the only thing I think that comes to mind when it comes to Italian food, nothing has really hit the spot yet. There was a place in Seattle I used to like, and it was really a hole in the wall. You never would have thought that was good food, and I guess I'm kind of looking for that here in Charlotte. Just some place where you would never expect it, and it's a hole in the wall, and you go right in there, and they just make the most outstanding like fettuccine alfredo or something, or a great smoked salmon, and that's what I love.
That's why I was asking you, because I haven't found anything.
Yeah, I've been looking and I've been
Yeah.
asking too. So not many people have had ideas, but I haven't found anything that I'm like going, okay, this is definitely the place. So
Exactly. Okay, so now that we've kind of learned a little bit about you, and now if there was a chance that you could go back in time
Mhm.
and talk to your younger self, what would you tell?
you got this. It'll happen. I think what happens is that sometimes life happens and we get caught up in maybe moments that don't go the way we think it is, but it's actually happening. I think if you stay focused, you know your outcome, you'll go after and get it. And I'm glad I stayed the course and listened to what my parents told me and kept focusing on the areas that I wanted to do to help other people and to help them grow and really just be honored with the successes I've seen and the people who walk out, after I work with them has been just really amazing. I couldn't have asked for anything better. So I would say keep going.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
let's go ahead and actually take a break really quick. But before we do, a word from FCS Lending Company. Listen, business owners, FCS Lending is doing all they can to get you the money you need to grow your business or even help you start your business. When banks can't get it done, FCS Lending Company will get it done. So go ahead and call them at 704-233-7444 and also check them out online at www.solutions.com. And also follow them on Facebook and Twitter to get free business tips. We'll be right back. And welcome back, folks. You are listening to Get Money Show on WDRB Media and WGIV, the soul of Charlotte. We still got Chris Villani in the building. So we've been talking about him and his life and kind of what he's gone through and kind of where he has taken himself to now. So again, thank you for being on the show.
Sure,
Appreciate
absolutely.
it.
Love it.
Now I had some listeners kind of go into asking questions about some things, and one of them actually had a really interesting question
Sure.
about a business plan. She asked, how can one build a strategic comprehensive business plan, and are there any templates that they can use to help them? So are you very familiar with any business plans that you've maybe dealt with clients or anybody who you've networked with?
Well, here's the one thing I would say to someone like that. When anyone is when you're looking for templates, it's always going to be to the business you want. So in other words, we meet at the wine cellar. A wine cellar template would be different than somebody who works at a cleaning company to somebody who works at a cafe, for example.
Gotcha.
So what the first thing I would say is who are the people that do what they do that are successful? First, find that. Two, ask yourself what other resources can you find, and put yourself in a resourceful state. What happens is a lot of people take success, they say it can only happen one way. They never have a definition, and with that definition they can stop or prevent them from looking at their answers. So my feedback to them would be, what other ways can you find the people that are in the area you want to go in? Who's successful? What kind of templates would they use? What kind of questions would they ask differently? Who would they network or partner with? What could they be doing now? How could they maybe do their own little podcasts, videos, whatever else out there to connect or market to those people? Start somewhere. Don't let the templates be, I mean, that's obviously something that's a great thing, but don't let that stop you from becoming who you are. First, define exactly what it is you want and the emotion behind it. I want to be this, great company, and I want people walking out knowing that they had an awesome experience. Whatever, that has to be the very first thing to do. Once you've defined that, find the people who do that in your area, market, what you want to do, and then chase them down. Find out, study it, make it a study. Success doesn't happen every day. You have to actually chase it every day. It's not something you arrive at once. Every single day you got to pay the rent for success. That means you got to go after it. You got to meet the people, make the phone calls, and keep going. And ask yourself a question: what new person or what new way can I build my business? What's something different or what's something now I can do to make this business grow and enjoy the process? So that's where I'd start first.
Awesome, thank you so much. And actually, that question was from Danielle at A Seamless Affair. If you need any events or anything like that, make sure you contact her at A Seamless Affair on IG. Okay, that's at A Seamless Affair on Instagram. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I know for me, I've run into maybe some people who said go to SBA.gov. There's actually a template on there where they go into how to start your business. From going to a business plan, they talk about creating your business plan, choose your business structure, and also register your business, so on and so forth.
Right.
So they talk about those things as well too. So that can really help as well too for some people who are just getting started as well.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So that answered that question there. So now going back to you, okay?
Sure.
So people always love to read books to enhance who they are or to learn different things. What's your favorite book, or what's maybe something recent you've read?
There's a couple. The couple that stand out for me. One is Tony Robbins.
Okay.
Anything that he does, typically, I think his Unleash the Power Within. I think it was a book that he wrote, or maybe that's his seminar I'm thinking of. Personal Power, I think maybe is what the book was. Great book. I also like Stephen Covey. First Things First. Another great book out there. Zig Ziglar had some great classics that I always refer back to. And when it comes to business, we're talking about how to design a business, and a great book. I would look at Michael Port's Book Yourself Solid. Another great book.
I've actually seen that one, but actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's the guy's a great guy. He has videos. You can YouTube him and everything else. And if someone's looking at building a business and what they need to do and how to actually really define it, that is a good place to start. I would go with that and find that out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about now? You said that Tony Robbins is actually one of your favorites.
Yes.
Now, have you ever seen him in Vegas? I know he's constantly in Vegas. Is that right?
Yeah. He's all over the place. He
Okay.
has a bunch of different seminars that he does. What I like about Tony Robbins is he's a very resourceful guy. He's a guy who took some teachings early in his career and went out and made stuff happen where people thought that you couldn't do it. And I think in life you have to go for it that way. The best successes, I think, in life is when you go out there and you do it and don't wait for anyone to tell you. Or you have to be trained, or you have to kind of do this. And he learned from some pretty interesting people in his background. And to me, I think that's where I found my success was actually someone I can find a way. I can do this and go after it and have fun at the same time. So
now going in front of people is not very easy, but I know that you do it. I know that you're going to be doing it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So tell us a little, just a little preview on what really you're going to be talking about on Tuesday.
So I'm going to be at the Lake Limit Chamber this Tuesday. I think it's the 14th is when I'm going to be there. And my presentation is really going to be about the power of the mind, your focus, because it's everything. If you're focused on, certain things in life, you miss everything else out. You miss what's going on around you. And so the presentation will be about how to, one, realize what to focus on, and two, how to expand the focus to meet what you're looking for. Because if you're always looking left and you need to think right, you'll never make it. It'll never happen, or always be a struggle. So there are things that you can do to go, okay, what is it I really want? How do I expand that? And then how do I go after it and have fun in the process? So that's what the talk will be about.
So how many times do you usually do these types of seminars or these types of workshops?
I'm ramping up, actually.
Okay.
Typically, I've done it at universities before. I've done it in front of other different offices and different business people. And so I've got this one. I'm looking at doing a private function for some tennis players to help them get in the zone, to understand the mind game, to hit the tennis ball and just be like an Andre Agassi when he was on the A game and doing that. So I do a lot of different, for either business professionals or athletes. I'll do different things for them. Yeah.
Which, by the way, congratulations to Serena Williams for winning today. So that's awesome.
Nice.
As well, too.
Very nice.
Yes, absolutely. She's my favorite. Yes, yes. So when you're in front of different types of audiences, who gives you the best response?
What do you mean by best response?
Whether you, because I'm not sure if you are getting people to come up to you and say, hey, this has really affected me, or are there audiences that just are like, well, I really don't care, or things like that. I mean,
well, so far I've never had an audiences that I really don't care.
Okay.
I wouldn't show up to that because I want to go where people actually want to hear what I have to say. Yeah. It's like with my clients. If they don't really want to take their life to a new level, then there's no reason to have the discussion. Yeah. But the other part I do ask is, who's in front of me? I have to understand their world so well that my presentation, they walk out going, wow, I didn't know that, or I had this whole experience, or I learned something about myself today. And it's always in the back of my mind, how do I have to get that across? Is it doing a demonstration? Is it asking a question? Is it talking about a certain subject that they're having struggles with? And so I'm always asking myself, depends on who it is. Again, I'm working with athletes, 1 week. It's a different whole presentation, discussion, interaction I'm be doing with them. And then next week I'm doing the chamber. So it's a whole different, while the outcome may be the same, the presentation will be different by design, just because it's who they are and what they're focusing on.
Yeah.
So
tell me about the chamber too, because I hear a lot of good things about the Lake Norman Chamber. So what sort of things do they help with small business owners over in the Lake Norman area? What do they do? Well,
the chamber is really good because they give people visibility. And they give you opportunities like this to kind of get out in front and meet other people. And again, anyone knows with a successful business, it's about knowing other people. And when you get in front of other people and you start networking and they start understanding who you are, your business will grow. Because then once they understand you, they're going to refer to you. Right. And that's what you want, and you want the visibility. You want the pictures. You want to be, so if someone goes online and they look for somebody, you want to be the person that pops up. So being affiliated with someone through the chamber and the different people gets you that opportunity to show up instead of being on the 5th page or on the 1st page. Right. So there's a lot of different ways of advantages to being part of the chamber and the group.
There you go. So that's what we all have to do is really make sure we be a part of those chambers. Wherever it is. I mean, if you can join multiple chambers, right? Absolutely, multiple networking groups. That's what you got to do.
Absolutely.
Now let's kind of go back to your Seattle days. Now,
sure.
You said you grew up in Seattle.
Yeah,
right?
Most of my life. I was born in L.A. Okay. Lived in Spokane for about 3 years, and majority of my life was Seattle.
Okay.
So yeah.
So tell us the jobs you loved and the jobs you hated.
Microsoft was the funnest job I had, I have to say, by far, because I had to earn the right to get in there and to do the different jobs. And then I worked into a sales and marketing position where I was working with a bunch of great companies. I've had a lot of jobs in my life. I'm what you call a jack of all trades, I think. And there have been jobs where I've done pouring cement and concrete barriers. Hated it. It was a one-day job for me. But it wasn't giving me what I needed, and that's why, Microsoft worked for me, because I was helping other people. I was helping them grow. I had to, there are challenges, and I get to, create new ways of solving these challenges and finding new ways of victories and making it happen. So that the Microsoft would be the plus, and pouring concrete would definitely not be. That was more of, I don't need that.
Right. So how long did you last?
That was a day. That was a day.
That was a day.
That was a day. I realized that's not going to happen. It's just, I had friends that did it, and I was like, that's just not going to do it. I will do something else. So
how'd you get hired for that job? Did you go and apply for that job?
Oh yeah, that job. You show up. No.
You
show up. They don't really.
Did you show up at a 7-Eleven and hop on the back of a pickup truck?
No, it was just going to the concrete place and doing it right there, and so
that's pretty cool. All right, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I know. For me, I grew up with a dad who was a brick mason.
Okay.
So he always told me he's like, this is a tough job.
Yeah.
I don't want you to do this.
Right.
Work with your mind, not with your hands.
Right.
But let me tell you something. He made a ton of money.
Oh, nice.
And I look back and I say, you know what? I wish I had taken that. I wish I had learned what he did.
Right.
But you know what? He was a different type of person. He didn't have much education.
Right.
Dropped out of school, second grade, and but just was self-taught.
Right.
When he saw things, he can
Right.
learn it and just put it into practice. So
Yeah.
that's just how he was.
That's
So
nice.
So I'm always impressed on how he approached business.
Yeah.
Something that just came natural to him.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Last question for you is pretty much, who do you surround yourself with now to really help you through?
I'm always surrounding myself in different ways. I have a great friend who I'm always in contact with a couple of times a week. He actually lives in Portland, Oregon. He's a different guy. He just thinks on a whole different level. Keeps stretching to what I can do. My wife's another person. She really balances me out. And then the clients that I have, in some ways also, because I look for the clients that are just so good in their field that when they come to me, that I have to show up and that those will help me expand too. So that's what I always do. I make sure that I surround those people. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you so much. We just
Absolutely.
want to say thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And also, we want to make sure that we thank our sponsors as well too. Embellish Lash and Brow Lounge, Charlotte's premier spa for your eyelash needs and waxing needs. Please give them a call, 703-585-4449. And please remember to connect with me by going to WGIVCharlotte.com. Click on the WGIV shows tab and go to the Get Money page. I'm your host, Stevie G.